Interest outpacing capacity.
We want to congratulate you on being the first, and we want you to come back and join us again for an overnight stay, dinner on us.
Entry onto the Gordie Howe pedestrian trail was paused temporarily on day one. Calls for protection from Mother Nature.
I truly believe that we are in a blind spot.
How this MP wants to protect Essex County. And celebrating Cameron.
It's pretty special to be able to bring this cup back to Wheatley.
The Memorial Cup makes a memorable stop in Chatham, Kent.
CTV News with Stephanie Mazzotti.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on CTV Windsor and AM 800. Stephanie is off tonight. I'm Michelle Maluske. A historic milestone on the Gordie Howe International Bridge. Hundreds of people lined up on both sides of the border today, hoping to be among the first people walking between Windsor and Detroit. Sanjay Mara was there as the long-awaited connection opened to both foot and bike traffic. Sanjay, what was the mood like on the bridge this morning?
Well, the mood was really one of jubilation, celebration, and excitement. Remember, if you do not own a car and you live in the Windsor-Detroit corridor, you can now access the neighboring country by foot or on bicycle, and you don't have to pay any toll whatsoever. And for a number of people I spoke with using this multi-use path from both Canada and the United States, many of them tell me that their visits to the other country were rare, but after today's multi-use path opening, that's all about to change.
As people get their first opportunity to cross the Gordie Howe Bridge on foot or by bicycle, it's all smiles.
We're so glad to be intermingling with our Canadian neighbors.
A little bit of song.
We stand on guard for
and even a few gifts for the first American to cross into Windsor via the newly opened multi-use path.
We want to congratulate you on being the first, and we want you to come back and join us again for an overnight stay, dinner on us, and an exclusive experience.
Thank you so much, Gordon.
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Congratulations.
All right.
Wheelchairs permitted, little ones in strollers, and even a few unicycles spotted on opening day.
Going down it was super nice, so I'm really happy about the decline.
Ahead of the path's 8 a.m. opening, extensive lineups had formed on both sides of the border, with people hoping to be among the historic first group to access the pedestrian and cycling trail. But by 8:15, mass entry was paused as the trail reached its capacity of 250 people. For the remainder of the day, people were allowed to trickle in, but only as others exited.
And the midway point, the halfway mark on this multi-use path, has really become a gathering spot of sorts, not just because of the incredible view of the Detroit River, but because of this placard marking the international boundary between Canada and the United States.
Many here on opening day say this pathway, which gives users free access between both countries, serves as a symbol of unity.
I grew up where you could just go to Canada for shopping for a day. And now, you know, with all of the restrictions and things like that, and then the tensions, hopefully through this bridge, we're going to see it. We've been walking past saying good morning, seeing people with their Canada shirts on. So, you know, it takes people to heal the wounds.
Sanjay Maru, CTV News.
A local MP is calling on Ottawa to review how severe weather warnings are issued across Essex County. Chris Lewis wants a closer, more reliable radar system. CTV's Chris Campbell is in the newsroom now with this story. Chris.
Yes, Michelle, when severe weather is bearing down, every minute can matter, and the closest radar station is in Exeter on the other side of London. Essex MP Chris Lewis says residents across Windsor, Essex and Chatham-Kent aren't always getting the warning in time, and sometimes it comes after the weather hits. He's calling on Ottawa to take a closer look at the region's weather radar coverage.
I truly believe that we are in a blind spot.
Essex MP Chris Lewis says the region relies heavily on U.S. weather radar, while Canada's closest radar serving Essex County is in Exeter, about 200 kilometers away. He says that became especially concerning during a July 3rd storm when strong winds caused widespread damage and 1,600 people at the Essex Fun Fest had to be evacuated.
People aren't getting fair warning, and Essex doesn't stop in London.
Lewis is asking Environment and Climate Change Canada to review its severe weather warning procedures and determine whether additional or improved radar coverage is needed. He says the issue extends beyond residents on land.
We have Lake Erie. We have Lake St. Clair. We have the Detroit River. We have our excellent airport. All of those will rely on this particular weather radar that I'm calling for an investigation into or study into.
Windsor Mayor Drew Dilkens agrees timely information is critical, pointing to a tornado that hit the city years ago.
The alert actually came about 10 minutes after the tornado had done its damage. And so that type of situation is not helpful to anyone in the city of Windsor.
Dilkens says better warnings are about giving people enough time to protect themselves and their families. And while severe storms can leave municipalities with major cleanup bills, he says better warnings aren't necessarily going to prevent much of that damage.
You know, it's really about the safety of residents. And if they had timely advanced information, then they'd be able to take appropriate action to protect themselves and their families.
CTV News reached out to Environment and Climate Change Canada for comment on the concerns raised by Lewis and the region's radar coverage, but did not receive a response by News Time.
What I really am trying to do is be part of the solution, not part of the problem. Please study this, and please figure out what the proper solution, what the solution to the issue is.
Lewis says he wants the federal government to come to Essex County, see the gaps firsthand, and determine what can be done to improve severe weather warnings. Michelle?
All right, thanks so much for this. Chris Campbell reporting for us tonight in the newsroom. And while we're on this subject, let's turn now to our own weather expert, meteorologist Gary Archibald. I guess I'm wondering, how quickly can the weather change and shift?
Especially during the summer months. We know this very well here. Flooding, rains, tornado warnings. The Exeter station is high tech, but because of its location, it's a 2-hour drive from here. The difference will be in terms of immediacy, and having a full-fledged weather radar station in the heart of Windsor will allow us to track storms at least 100, maybe 200 kilometers to our west, where they tend to track from Michigan through the lower Great Lakes. So we'll see it have higher resolution, and because that information is going to be available to us maybe an hour or 2 hours earlier, we can see it and plan ahead, and those warnings will just be that much better in terms of how precise we can really give you a breakdown, timing, location.
Could a improved radar here in Windsor, Essex help others across southwestern Ontario as well? Like, it doesn't just flow in one direction.
That's right. 360 view, if you will, right?
Of what's coming.
We're talking about that kind of feed, allowing us to look at storms coming from the northwest, east, south, and because of that, we can help our neighbors, right? We're surrounded by states around the Great Lakes, but we can also look at London weather. We can look at weather coming out of the Ohio Valley, right? So there's just such an important advantage of having that view
closer,
earlier for detection.
All right, thanks so much for that context. Thanks so much, Gary. And of course, this is our question of the day. Do you think the Windsor-Essex region needs better radar coverage? Have your say. Go to our website to cast your own vote. You'll find the poll at CTV News Windsor. And while we have Gary, let's take our first full look at the weather now. Gary.
You know, it's interesting to see, we're talking about timing and immediacy. Right now, we're not in any kind of warning scenario, but a cold front, and we get this from a massive amalgam of information, a number of weather satellites, and of course, radars coming together to show us this cold front that's bringing showers over the state of Illinois. It's going to take several hours for it to at least get into our space where that Exeter radar will pick it up. But I can tell you it's on the way. Today, sunny, bright, and beautiful. Tomorrow, clouding over, and there is a thunderstorm risk. And we'll track it for you, of course. So break it down with a complete weather forecast coming up. For now, I'll send it back to you at the desk.
All right, thanks so much, Gary. We'll check in again soon. Windsor police have charged a 36-year-old man with sexual exploitation of 2 teenage girls. Authorities say back in March, they learned a man picked up 2 16-year-olds, took them to a hotel in South Windsor where they were both given alcohol. Police further allege the man took nude pictures and engaged in sexual acts with both girls before giving them money. A week later, authorities say it happened again. Stephen Allen Marles has been arrested and is facing multiple charges. Meantime, Windsor police reporting a sharp increase in distracted driving charges this year. So far, members of the Traffic Enforcement Unit have issued 408 tickets for distracted driving. That's an incredible 91% increase compared with the 214 tickets handed out during the same period last year. Drivers convicted of distracted driving can face fines ranging from $615 to a maximum penalty of $3 grand, a potential driver's license suspension anywhere from 3 to 30 days, and they can earn from 3 to 6 demerit points. An early morning fire in downtown Windsor has displaced multiple tenants. The fire broke out around 5:30 inside this home in the 100 block of Jeanette Avenue. Fire officials estimate fire, smoke and water damages at $400,000. The investigation into the cause remains ongoing. Officials are reminding residents to stay clear of the area and check that their smoke alarms are working. The City of Windsor has launched an updated 311 mobile app, making it easier for residents to report issues around the city or to access city services. The updated app allows residents to submit service requests from home, work, or even while on the go. With summer activity increasing across the city, common concerns reported through 311 include potholes, dirty yards, park maintenance, graffiti, streetlight issues, tree-related storm damage, and of course, missed garbage collection. Residents can also upload photos, pinpoint locations, and track the progress of their requests through the app, which is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Also tonight, a new outdoor fitness area is now open at Gateway Park in Windsor's West End. City officials held a ribbon-cutting ceremony today to celebrate the project. The free outdoor exercise equipment can accommodate up to 9 users at a time. It's designed for a range of abilities, focusing on strength, balance, flexibility, and cardiovascular fitness. Funding for the fitness area came through Ward 2 funds, with additional support from the Cal Tire Replay Fund, which helped pay for the recycled rubber surfacing, which, incidentally, is made from Canadian scrap tires.
The idea is really to activate this space and draw people to the river, and folks who are on the river, we'll get some signage down there at some point soon, hopefully, pointing them up here and draw them off the Riverfront Trail. Not that there's anything wrong with Riverfront Trail, but just, bring them into this a park that you may not have thought about, you may not have considered, and it's just a little piece of, green space in the running up and down the middle of the city.
It's almost post time in Leamington. Live harness racing returns to Leamington Raceway this weekend. The Lakeshore Horse Racing Association is welcoming fans back for opening day Sunday, August 9th, with an afternoon of racing and family activities. Admission and parking are both free. The first race goes at 1 o'clock. Organizers say it's a chance for families to enjoy the excitement of live racing as horses and drivers return to the track for another unforgettable season. Well, we want to hear from you. Do you have a comment or a question, an idea for a great story? Text us at 10400. You can also send us photos and video. Still ahead on Windsor's News Leader, another Strait of Hormuz deal is in the works, and it's already having an effect at the pump. And Canadians are still saying no to U.S. alcohol. Coming up, new polling shows the boycott may be getting even stronger. And Ontario hospitals under pressure. Tomorrow, CUPE unveils data on the impact of years of underfunding and privatization. That story is tomorrow on CTV News at 6. Today is a day of reflection, mourning, and appreciation at CTV News for a life that touched so many. Lloyd Robertson, former chief anchor of CTV News, passed away last night at 92 years of age. Robertson was known as much for his commanding voice on the air as he was his warmth and kindness amongst colleagues and friends. CTV's Geneviève Beauchemin looks back at the distinguished career of a broadcasting legend.
So that's the kind of day it's been on this.
On the day he signed off for the last time, Lloyd Robertson joked he was about to be yesterday's news.
We made it, Harvey.
Reaction to his passing, though, has proven his legacy to be a front-page story.
I think people trusted him. I think he was a really special journalist.
When I first came to Canada, like, his voice was like kind of captivating.
Hello. Lloyd Robertson offered generations of viewers a connection to the world.
I'm Lloyd Robertson. We'll see how the world came to Canada.
His authoritative voice was a landmark of the Canadian broadcast landscape for over 6 decades.
He was a true gentleman, a real newsman. He loved scoops. He loved well-written human interest stories.
He recounted he was bitten by the broadcasting bug when he was a boy. He was watching local radio hosts at CJCS describe the Perth Regiment marching home from the Second World War.
This is Lloyd Robertson.
In high school, he got a job at CJCS. Robertson graduated, continued to spin records and read news until he knocked on CBC's door.
I was hired by the CBC. My voice got me through.
We interrupt this program.
He said he fully understood his role in 1963 with the Kennedy assassination, marking the first big event where people tuned into TV rather than radio for breaking news.
I felt that I was now involved in something that really mattered to people. Television news.
Good evening.
Robertson worked his way to the CBC's flagship news show, The National.
When I did my first news special as a reporter with Lloyd in 1970, when he was hosting for CBC Radio the Royal Tour coverage that year. He took a lot of time and trouble ensuring that I was comfortable in doing what I was doing, and we became friends then, and that carried on throughout the years.
Robertson is leaving the CBC after 22 years.
He signed on to CTV in 1976, co-anchoring with then-host Harvey Kirk.
Good evening. Lloyd Robertson joins us tonight for CTV News.
Bringing, says his longtime friend journalist Craig Oliver, instant credibility.
That's Lloyd's legacy. He took this news department and put it on the map.
The partnership lasted until 1984, when Kirk retired from the anchor desk and Robertson became senior news anchor.
To me, it was the equivalent of being knighted.
Throughout his career, Robertson often said he had the rare privilege of having a front row seat to history.
Here's our summary of Apollo 11's Space Odyssey.
Diana and Charles played their parts.
What is there left to say but thank you to everybody?
Robertson loved to showcase the country from coast to coast. Former Prime Minister Jean Chrétien said today that Robertson had a rare talent, explaining complicated events to Canadians, and that he made Canada's democracy stronger.
Tonight, face-to-face with...
He retired from the evening news in 2011.
Welcome back to W5.
Still, he continued to work for CTV's W5 for a time and proved in 2018 that you can't take the news out of a news anchor.
And I was able to walk away from this.
That's him reporting live on his own car accident. Through it all, for colleagues from rookies to hardened veterans, a congratulatory note signed Lloyd was a stop the presses moment.
He was one of a kind. He had no ego. He was first class. Everyone loved being around him. And he just really made everyone feel special.
He has gained public trust for his integrity.
He received numerous recognitions, the Order of Canada, a Doctor of Laws from BC's Royal Roads University. A park was named after him. But Robertson often said the greatest honour of his life was to chronicle the times, the events that marked Canada and the world for so long.
And that's the kind of day it's been. I'm Lloyd Robertson. For all of us here at CTV News, good night. It strikes me that if you find something you love to do,
Hi, guys.
and you are able to do it, that's about as good as it gets in life.
Geneviève Beauchemin, CTV News.
In Sarnia, the suspended chief of police is now facing a criminal investigation. CTV's Brian Bicknell reports.
According to a letter from the Law Enforcement Complaints Agency to Sarnia Journal owner Nathan Calhoun and shared by Calhoun, a complaint against Sarnia Police Chief Derek Davis filed in April is now suspended. That's because, according to the letter, the director of the agency has determined the matter is now the subject of a criminal investigation.
Shocked, not totally surprised.
Sarnia Mayor Mike Bradley served 35 years on the Sarnia Police Service Board before stepping down, partly, he says, over concerns regarding Davis.
I left the board 3 years ago because of that chief's actions and his relationship with the city and with the board, which I did not think was a productive relationship. And now we're seeing all these allegations come out, which are quite disturbing. And my concern is always the impact on the officers and civilians that serve.
In a notice to media, Calhoun says his complaint with the agency is the same one he originally filed with the Sarnia Police Service Board in March of this year. He says it concerns the conduct of Chief Davis, including Davis's alleged ties to private consulting interests, hiring decisions, and at the time, the decision by the Sarnia Police Service Board to pay Davis's legal fees in his lawsuit against Calhoun and the newspaper. That decision has since been withdrawn and the lawsuit dropped. Meantime, Davis is also the subject of a separate workplace harassment investigation.
There's all sorts of grievances, human rights complaints, all sorts of other things unfolding. This is going to cost the taxpayers of Sarnia a lot of money.
Public safety analyst Chris Lewis says it's not unprecedented for a police chief to be the subject of a criminal investigation, but he says justice needs to be allowed to run its course.
There's an allegation. He's not convicted. Investigation hasn't been done. He may never be charged with anything at all. And I think the public has to keep that in mind. But in the meantime, when any police officer comes under such scrutiny, particularly in a criminal way, ultimately it's going to hurt public confidence.
The police service conducting the criminal investigation has not been named publicly. Meantime, CTV News reached out to Davis. He did not respond. The Police Service Board declined to comment. Brian Bicknell, CTV News.
Michigan Democrats have chosen their candidate for the U.S. Senate. Progressive Democrats are scoring major victories at the polls. In Michigan, Abdul El-Sayed was chosen as the winner of Michigan's Democratic Senate primary against Congresswoman Haley Stevens. This sets up a high-stakes showdown in November with Republican Mike Rogers. The battleground race is expected to play a key role in deciding control of the Senate and making it critical for President Donald Trump's agenda and the balance of power in Washington. El-Sayed now faces the challenge of uniting Democrats after a closely contested primary. Meantime, the American president says a deal to reopen the Strait of Hormuz could happen today or tomorrow. Closure of the waterway has driven up the price of gas and basic goods, impacting the global economy. The U.S. and Iran reached a deal to reopen the strait back in June, only for attacks to resume. Regional officials say Iranian and Omani negotiators have finalized a draft agreement to reopen the strait, but are awaiting final approval from Iran's supreme leader. And that is having an impact on the price of gas here. If you can, wait until tomorrow to fill up your tank. You'll save money. The price of gas is forecast to drop 10 cents a litre overnight to near $1.60. That's according to Dan McTague with Canadians for Affordable Energy.
We could see gasoline falling 10 to 20 cents a litre, and diesel prices could be falling very similar or slightly more than that 10 to 20 cents a litre. But there's still a lot of uncertainty over how the U.S. situation will continue with Iran, whether or not the strait will remain open. So there's still a higher amount of volatility in what could happen with gas prices in the weeks ahead.
American officials have made clear they view the boycott of U.S. alcohol by many Canadian provinces as, quote, a major irritant in the ongoing trade war. But a new poll for CTV News suggests Canadians not only approve of the boycott, they're prepared to keep it going themselves. CTV's Abigail Beeman has more on how Canadians are feeling.
On a sunny summer day outside this LCBO, most people tell us they aren't missing an American cold one.
Just avoid American, and I look for Canadian brands.
No, I think we've done a good job replacing it with Canadian alternatives.
It's hard to feel like spending the little extra money people have these days on, a country full of politicians, business folks that really don't seem to, A, treat us with respect, or B, have perhaps more nefarious plan.
If American alcohol went back on the shelf, according to new polling from Nanos done exclusively for CTV News, just under 3/4 of Canadians, 74%, are unlikely to buy it. And that's an increase from last year.
Canadians are digging their heels.
Currently, only Saskatchewan and Alberta don't block American alcohol. Nick Nano says the polling gives premiers ammunition to stand their ground.
Also a bit of ammunition if you're in the American wine, spirits, distillery business to tell the administration, if you want Canadians to buy American wine and spirits, the best path is to get a deal and bring things back to normal.
The president cited provincial booze bans as one of the reasons behind new 50% tariffs he says will come down later this month. Canada-U.S. Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc is currently in D.C. for meetings.
We may not end up with a deal before the deadline, but what we've seen with the Trump administration is if you get close, sometimes the president extends the deadline.
LeBlanc's team says he'll be staying in D.C. tonight with a return date back to Canada not yet confirmed. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
Markets in Canada and the United States were up as investors await a potential deal to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. In Toronto, the TSX gained 345 points, and in New York, the Dow added 263, but the Nasdaq fell 222. The Canadian dollar gained 1/5 of a cent today, and on commodity markets, gold gained $152 an ounce, oil lost 55 cents a barrel. And coming up, as U.S. cities and airlines roll out travel incentives for Canadians, where are tourism dollars being spent?
Let's look at our CTV News weather snapshot. Thanks to Mark Hewer for this early morning image. Do you have a weather image? Share it with us. Text it to 10400. We'll see if showers and thunderstorms come our way for tomorrow next on CTV News Windsor.
Lovely summer flowers out there. CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald joins me now with a broad look at the weather forecast.
Michelle, I think we had a nice little streak of pleasant weather since the weekend. And now today, gorgeous, beautiful breeze down by the river. Things are going to change through the overnight, increase in cloudiness. But anywhere from southern Ontario due east towards Nova Scotia, we can say that the eastern flank of the country is in the warm slot. That's why these temperatures have been above seasonal. 30 degrees today. Average high is now below 27, about 27 below 28. Now looking at about 27.5. Air quality decent again. A beautiful blue sky this morning when I was taking my dog Dino out for a little fun. In the sun, of course. 28 degrees, still warm in the afternoons and evenings. That's at the airport in Windsor, 27 in Chatham-Kent. Mostly sunny conditions over the entire region of southwestern Ontario. And it does feel a bit warmer, about 33, both in Windsor, Essex, Chatham-Kent, Amherstburg, Kingsville, Lakeshore, Leamington, LaSalle, Tecumseh, Belt River, and the surrounds. Halifax is the warm spot on the map, 32, and in a yellow heat warning. Mention the warm slot. Look at all this air surging to the east. That's why it's so warm for our friends on the Atlantic coast, right? Maritimes and Atlantic Canada collectively warm. Cold front, though, is going to eventually invade our airspace, change our temperatures, drop them couple of degrees, but also be the catalyst for some showers. We'll see increase in cloudiness late tonight, say around 11. towards midnight, technically tomorrow morning. Then the rain's coming tomorrow late in the afternoon towards the evening. I cannot rule out a light thunder shower or two around supper time for Thursday evening. Here's a breakdown for tonight. Still warm, but clouding over and really getting into the clouds after 10 p.m. We're at 20 degrees at midnight, 19 through the overnight. Take a look at our inner Curacao 7-day. Showers coming, thunderstorm risk potentially, 27, a bit cooler air mass relatively speaking. Showers cloudy Friday, Saturday, 29, then 28, then sunny break Sunday, sunny, 29, then 29, 28, 27. Cloudy at times, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week.
About 1 in 4 adults will develop delirium during a hospital stay, affecting an estimated 500,000 Canadians every year. As CTV's Pauline Chan will tell us, artificial intelligence may soon become a powerful tool in helping prevent the condition.
Artificial intelligence.
Dr. Amol Verma's interest in delirium sprang from his grandmother's experiences during leg surgery.
And that was really striking for us because she was someone who was so mentally sharp and always very bright. And, you know, she was suddenly disoriented. She was talking about a wedding that wasn't happening.
Dr. Fahad Razak says delirium is extremely common, affecting 20 to 30% of all Canadians hospitalized for any range of conditions.
People are extremely confused. They may be very somnolent, so barely responsive. Other patients can be very agitated. They can not recognize family members or friends. They can have trouble eating or drinking. It is so serious that once you develop delirium, the chance of dying in hospital during that admission doubles.
And even if you recover, your chances of your brain sustaining permanent damage, requiring you to move into long-term care, for example, more than doubles. That's what prompted Unity Health to look at ways to identify high-risk candidates for delirium.
You can do it with very high precision, but it's very labor-intensive. So, for example, there's been a method that's developed that takes about 30 minutes to 2 hours per medical chart.
Not very practical, but an AI program developed by Unity Health using just 10 key factors is proving helpful. Harry Ennis's partner Bruce went through heart surgery last year.
I asked him sort of key dates, like when's your birthday, when's my birthday, and he didn't know them.
Ennis says the key is early identification of vulnerable patients.
You can reduce the chance of delirium occurring by as much as 40%.
You need to know about it before it happens, like before the surgery, so that you can monitor if it's happening. You can put in strategies to minimize it and keep the patient safe.
Things like being able to eat well, being able to stay hydrated, being able to get up and move and be physically active.
In Canada especially, we have a problem with recognizing it because many patients who are admitted to hospital don't speak English, and the fact that they are confused sometimes is not easily apparent to a healthcare worker.
The delirium risk calculator is currently being tested in several Ontario hospitals, and it will expand to 13 hospitals in October.
Delirium is the most important cause of hospital-acquired harm for Canadians, full stop.
Pauline Chan, CTV News.
With the summer vacation season in full swing, millions of people are deciding where to spend their travel dollars. Some U.S. airlines, cities, and tourism operators are rolling out discounts and special offers to lure Canadians south of the border. CTV's Paul Hollingsworth spoke to some vacationers who are helping fuel Canada's tourism boom.
Yeah. On a hot summer day,
ring off the rope without untying the knot.
The busy Halifax waterfront offers a snapshot of the tourism vibe in this province.
We're 29% ahead of passenger counts based on this time last year.
Tourism operators say business is on track for a record-breaking year, locally and nationally. According to Stats Canada, tourism revenue across the country has climbed almost 6% compared to the same time frame in 2019. 2025.
We're having increased Americans taking advantage of the American dollar. We're seeing Canadians stay home.
Donna Riani and her husband are visiting from Boston for the first time.
Well, obviously the U.S. is not a friendly neighbor anymore.
Given the recent tariff tensions between the two countries, Riani is here to see the sights and show support for her northern neighbors.
It's something I wanted to do. It's nice.
As Americans visit Canada, Canadians continue to travel within this country. Domestic tourism remains strong. David Martel from Quebec City was tempted to travel to the U.S., but he decided to stay in his home country.
For now, I'm going to support the local markets.
The trend of Canadians refusing to travel south of the border is taking a bite out of U.S. tourism. To attract more travelers, Porter Airlines is offering 20% off flights from Canadian cities to New York from August until December. New York is tossing in hotel discounts and cheaper tickets for Broadway shows.
And we're offering 30% off of 85 plus tourism attractions.
Martel says thanks, but no thanks.
Maybe in a couple of years.
He'll spend his vacation money in his home country as the tourism industry continues to surge from coast to coast. Paul Hollingsworth, CTV News, Halifax.
Ahead, the Memorial Cup comes home. See how Wheatley celebrated a Kitchener Ranger. Simple photo could help local wheat farmers protect their crop. Researchers at the University of Guelph have developed a free AI app that detects one of the crop's most damaging diseases. CTV's Jeff Pickle has the story.
Just above knee height here. So what you'd want to do is open the app up on your phone, take the picture.
From the field to the lab, researchers at the University of Guelph are working to improve yields.
So you can see here, for every plot, we have to draw a box around each wheat head in the image.
What started as a research project has turned into an app that can help farmers detect Fusarium head blight, one of the most destructive diseases affecting wheat production.
We focus a lot on breeding for resistance to the disease. And one of the ways we have to do that is evaluating plots out in the field and testing if the lines are resistant to the pathogen or not.
The concept is simple, but the technology is not. Take a picture of a wheat field and let AI do the rest.
So we're trying to develop a way that's a lot more accurate at actually determining the degree of infection within each plot.
A helpful and free tool for farmers.
Farmers can also use this to help gauge what they're having how much infection is out in their field, and it allows them a little bit of leeway so that they can employ some different practices to minimize the impact of the disease.
Also helpful for researchers looking to create more resilient strains of wheat.
We're losing farmland at a relatively rapid rate, so we need to be able to actually increase the production that we have on the farmland that we do already grow on.
McConaughey says so far 250 producers have downloaded the app, and all information used in the app is retained by the farmers and not used in their research.
So this wheat is a little bit too mature. For the app to work, it needs to be green.
McConaughey says they are updating the app to make it better for next year, and it will remain free to use.
We benefited a lot in our research from open source models, and we've taken advantage of this a lot in order to actually employ all of this. So we just wanted to continue that trend and give back so people can build on this and use it to actually benefit themselves.
Jeff Pickle, CTV News, Guelph.
The Memorial Cup has made its way to Wheatley. Hometown hero Cameron Arquette bringing the trophy to where his hockey career started, and the community couldn't be prouder. We get the story tonight from CTV's Robert Lothian.
A hero's welcome for Wheatley's Cameron Arquette. Fresh off hoisting the Memorial Cup for the Kitchener Rangers, the forward bringing some hardware home to where it all started.
I mean, the run was really special. We had a great group of guys and went all the way. It was really awesome.
2-on-1. Gerard throws it across and they score.
Arquette was a fixture on a dominant Rangers squad who captured the cup in Kelowna this spring. A reward for his success is one day to bring the trophy where he wants.
It's pretty special to be able to bring this cup back to Wheatley and do it with all my friends and family, and then be able to bring it back to the town that supported me so much.
Hundreds of fans taking the chance to take some pictures and meet the champion.
It was cool. It's heavy. We're super proud of him. We're proud.
Did you touch it?
No. But I kissed it. I got to see the cup, and it was cool to see him on the pictures.
Arquette's homecoming was celebrated at the newly opened Wheatley Legion, and a community on the rebound, now 5 years removed from a massive explosion. The 19-year-old says the significance of giving people a reason to smile isn't lost on him.
I mean, there's been a few negatives in the past, but to bring this positive towards the town and show everyone what's happened and things we've achieved, it's pretty cool.
It's so important to know where you came from. Like, this is where he's from, so it's so important that he was here to spend his time and just look at the people here. It's a great turnout.
And in this room of hundreds, there's a chance a future Memorial Cup champ is in attendance.
If I try hard enough and I practice a lot, then yeah.
And for Arquette, that's what it's all about.
Some of the younger kids that you see that kind of look up to you a bit, and it's pretty cool to bring the trophy to them and show them what it's like, and maybe for them to maybe do it in the future.
Robert Lothian, CTV News.
And it's almost time to check in on what's happening now. Tonight, I'm joined by Brent Lale.
Well, Michelle, have you ever lined up for something you really want? Well, coming up, we talk to one man who waited almost an entire day to be the first person to cycle across the Gordie Howe International Bridge.
This is your CTV Windsor, our community calendar. Downtown Windsor is revving up for the 11th annual Olette Car Cruise, August the 14th. Experience a jaw-dropping lineup of street rods, muscle cars, classics, customs, and more. See you next time on Our Community.
Let's go back to the big opening today of the multi-use path on the Gordie Howe Bridge. Brent, this is something residents have been waiting for a very long time.
Yes, so long, in fact, that one cyclist was so determined to be the first to ride across the bridge, he camped out starting yesterday morning.
What's the motivation to be here so early?
The motivation was I kind of got myself in trouble and would tell people after all these years, once they announced there'd be like multi-use path, that I'd be the first one here. So here we are. I just like joking around, like I want to be the first, but now I'm right here. Man of my word. I know on Ambassador Bridge they used to be able to go over on like foot and stuff, so I thought it'd be cool to do that on the new one, and hopefully a lot more people will be using it in the future. When it opens 8 a.m., I'll get out my bike and try and be the first to cross.
And he was, in fact, the first Canadian to cross the bridge. The bridge itself is a little more than 3 kilometers long. Bridge officials estimate it'll take about 20 minutes to bike or 45 to walk, and users will need a passport even if you don't cross into Detroit. And, Michelle, we've got a photo gallery online. It's pics from people who made the early morning crossing.
Another historic moment. All right, Brent, we also have a story online about a Windsor man facing 11 charges after police linked him to a string of South Windsor break-ins.
Yeah, and this is scary, too. The homeowner was actually asleep at the time of one of them. Investigators allege the suspect damaged fences, spray paint and surveillance cameras, and stole property from homes and garages. Police arrested the man after a brief foot pursuit last week. He now faces charges including break and enter, mischief, and breach of probation. And in our social spotlight tonight, sometimes patience isn't just part of the party plan. One little girl decided the piñata was taking way too long to break, so she came up with her own solution. And who needs a stick when you've got an elbow? A quick tap, and then this no-nonsense party goer goes in for the elbow drop like she's Randy Macho Man Savage herself. Luckily for everyone else, she broke a hole in it, and they had to easily get out the candy.
My favorite part of that is she actually tapped her elbow, so she warned everybody, this is happening. I love it.
Well, that's how you do it in wrestling, right?
Yeah, clearly her dad has taught that girl well.
For sure.
All right, thanks so much. That's what's happening now. And when we return, why a giant pink flamingo became the rescue vehicle of choice for one very lucky turtle. Another beauty day out there today. CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald joins me with our final look at the weather with rain in the forecast.
You're right about that. After gorgeous conditions this morning, saw the moon again, which I love seeing during the daytime. Unfortunately, the clouds are starting to roll in. Cold fronts headed our way, and Michelle, you're right about that. For tomorrow afternoon, showers, maybe even a thunderstorm risk, a high of 27. Feels like about 34, 35, so keep the umbrella, because Friday and Saturday, both cloudy, 29, followed by 28, about a 40 to 60% chance of seeing showers. Sunday's a nice sunny break, 29, then 29, 28, and 27, clouding over a bit as we head towards Monday through to Wednesday of next week. But I think there's a good possibility tomorrow afternoon we will see some rain.
So I don't need to worry too much then about watering my garden tonight. Maybe it should get a good free drink tomorrow.
A little dousing, yes.
A little dousing. Okay. Thank you, Gary. And finally, for us tonight, we end with a story about an unusual ride. You see, it turns out when it comes to rescue missions on the water, you don't always need a boat. Members of the Lafayette, Colorado Police Department teamed up with an animal protection officer, and they floated in this flamboyant flamingo paddle boat to rescue a turtle wrapped in fishing line. Users on social media praised the responders' effort and their style, one saying, "Point of view, you signed up to fight fires and ended up pedaling a flamingo to rescue a snapping turtle." Well, good for them. Sometimes you just have to take what you've got.
Is that one of those pedal ones?
I think it is.
It's awesome.
It is a pretty cute paddle, for sure. Well, on behalf of our dedicated team here at CTV News Windsor, thank you for watching.
For updates throughout the evening, go to ctvnewswindsor.ca.
Gary and I will be back with your only late local newscast tonight at 11.
We'll see you then.